Mr. Morton, move to iPad.
All right, I think that means we set up. Welcome, welcome. We back again, once again, time and time again, my friends. And you know what we do over here. So this is just a quick market breakdown every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing a live stream, just briefly going through the pairs, showing the direction, trying to give you a heads up on where the market may be headed over the next few days.
Mr. Morton, look at this
No.
nearby.
What? But we back. Okay, too much is going on. Let's get right into it. Go ahead, drop a thumbs up just for the consistency. Your boy's out here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here. And we started off with XAU USD from the monthly time frame. What can we identify is that we've identified this level for a while now. Previous structure, support, broken down below, came back, retested it as resistance and broke to the downside. And then when we broke to the downside, if we drop down on the weekly, what happened is that we found some level of support as well. So we came into this area once again, creating a double bottom, and from there we are starting to see the rejection to the upside. If we look on the daily, you can see that we've had a impulse and retracement, and impulse, the most common pattern in the market, already completed. You can see right here we had an explosion from this level, come back for the retracement, and then explode to the upside, also confirming the pattern that we identified in previous live streams, as well as a left shoulder head or possible right shoulder right in this area forming, just to go ahead and not break below the left shoulder. We can go ahead and tap below it, but as long as we do not close below it, the head and shoulders, inverted head and the shoulders in this case, is still intact, and from there you should see the explosion to the upside because you have a simple impulse retracement and impulse pattern to the upside. So that is what has happened on the daily. From there you expect a retracement, some sort of retracement, but if we do go ahead and retest some of these areas in here, once again we could see a rejection, as this has been a strong area of previous structure. Resistance in here, could be resistance right around this area once again. So mainly just waiting for the market to give the corrections that it needs to in order to move forward. Dropping down to XAG USD from the monthly time frame, what can we identify is that we have been pointing out that there has been previous structure resistance right in this area, now turned support. We came down into it one time, rejected from this area, came down into it again, rejected to the upside, creating a higher high but not closing higher. If we drop down to the weekly, we can see that we've just been ranging pretty much in between this area for the most part. After we spiked to the upside, we had an immediate impulse to the downside, and from there we're starting the rejection or the correction that is actually correcting this move that made this impulse to the downside. So just a lot of indecision from the weekly time frame. And if we look at the daily, you can see that we were expecting that this go ahead and complete this pattern, this head and shoulders pattern right in here. You don't want to see the right shoulder break above the left shoulder, which we identified by this gray box, but you would like to see it come in and tap that area just to go ahead and test it. So on the daily, after the retracement, you could see further continuation to the upside, and then the actual start to the downside, as the market likes to create these patterns on all time frames over and over and over. If we go to XBT USD from the monthly, you can see that we are starting to make pretty good moves to the upside on the monthly time frame. So further bullishness could be expected on the weekly. You can see we've just been breaking structure and creating structure, using it as previous structure, resistance in this area, broke above it. Last spoke about this market, the candles were right around this area. Since then it has exploded to the upside from previous structure resistance, now turned support. Just bouncing off that. If we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see from that area that we've identified. Once broken above, came back for the retest previous structure, resistance broken, and from there exploded to the upside, just creating the most common pattern in the market. Moved to the upside, breaking structure, coming back, retesting the structure as the opposite, and then exploding to the upside, in this case creating a higher high. And that's all you want to see, and that's what happens in the market on all time frames, more times than not. If we go back to XBT USD, from there you expect a retracement where once the impulse ends, it may continue for the next couple days, possibly come back to the previous structure, broken, which will be all through this area. It's previous structure support, or now turn support, and then you see trend continuations from that area. If we do slide down to US oil, on the monthly time frame, we've identified that this has been previous structure resistance, and this area came back to retest it now as previous structure or current structure support. From there, we've had a lot of market movement, moving up and down in this monthly candle, which once again, we still have 5 days until this candle closes, so it may not close the way that it is now that we're getting closer to the end of the month. And within this 1 month, we've had pushes up and pushes back down. If we look at the weekly, you can see that we've identified this area for a while now as well. On the weekly time frame, just simply previous structure support, broken to the downside, came back, retested as resistance, broken above, came back, retested it as support, and now we're starting the next impulse to the upside, and that is on the weekly. If we drop down to the daily time frame on US oil, you can see just a nice and easy break to the upside, come back, retest what previous structure resistance, now broken to the upside, using it as support. From there, we've started a little double bottom action where you want to see the move to the upside, possible retracement for a continuation for a higher high. Just on this market is what I'm looking for from the daily time frame. So after this impulse ends, a retracement is in order. Euro USD on the monthly time frame has started a very strong retracement candle on the monthly, which is very important, because the monthly candles are very, very, very important. So if we can get a very, very momentous candle on the monthly time frame of Euro USD, we could see possible weakness in the US dollar for a while, just based on the retracement due to come in short term. Really thinking a while is in maybe a month or two. If we drop down to the weekly time frame, you can see we are starting to explode above some previous structure support that should act as resistance, has acted as resistance, but from there we found some support in this area that is stronger than the resistance, and we've created a double bottom exploding to the upside. After you see something like this, where we had a level of support, break below, break back into the area, come back, you don't want to see it break below the left shoulder, and then from there you're just in a nice and easy trend continuation, impulse to the upside, coming back for a retracement right around the right shoulder, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and you see the explosion to the upside. So we could see that possible from a weekly perspective, but that is could take some time to develop. If we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see we have the explosion to the upside. From there, you expect some sort of retracement. The market can't move in one direction forever, so some sort of retracement is in order, and then you could see the continuation to the upside, and that could be possible. GBP USD monthly time frame, we were looking for a possible move to the downside, but exactly like Euro USD, of course, a lot of these pairs will be correlated. Actually, all these pairs will be correlated. We're gonna go through the majors. If we drop down to the monthly time frame, if we look at the monthly time frame, you can see we are starting the retracement to the upside very aggressively. If we do get a positive close on the monthly, that could signify further continuation to the upside, just for possible retracements, because we have been bearish for so long. On the weekly, you can see that we've had a move to the upside, exploding to the upside, breaking several levels of structure. So from there, if we drop down to the daily time frame, now that we're starting to break above some structure, we could see possible continuations to the upside, just to go ahead and complete the higher time frame retracements. From here, we could have seen possible moves to the downside if we got the break below. We did not get that. But here we could see the possible moves to the upside, come back for a retracement to see further continuation on GBP USD. Monthly time frame of AUD USD, we were pushing to the downside very aggressively. We did come close to this area, but it looks like we are starting to find some support right around in here. If we drop down to the weekly time frame, you can see we are starting to get moves to the upside, breaking above some structure on the weekly time frame. So if we drop down to the daily time frame, that could signify further continuation if the market wants to go ahead and do that. As you can see, we are starting to pick apart the market and find these common patterns right in here, where we could have a left shoulder break below, come back into the area, come back for a retracement, some sort of retracement, and put us in a perfect trend continuation. Impulse to the upside, breaking structure, come back for a retracement where you don't want to see the market break below the left shoulder, and then could see market come into some of these areas, and from there who knows what will happen. USD CAD monthly time frame, we are starting to push to the upside very aggressively, but on this monthly candle we are starting to push down, so we could see further continuation to the downside just for the retracement. As you can see, we did create a weekly move to the upside, come back, move to the upside, failed break above, come back. If we get further continuation on this monthly candle, we could see moves to the upside after that to come complete the M pattern that does complete 80 to 90% of the time on all time frames. So take advantage of that. I have several videos showcasing the example, so if you don't believe me, just watch. On the daily on the daily time frame, we are pushing to the downside. If we do get further continuation in this market, we could see a retracement back into this area where we could see further continuation to the downside. Just if the market wants to go ahead and do that, it looks like there's a lot of retracement in order on a lot of these pairs, which they are correlated. So NZD USD monthly time frame, you can see we came into this level of support right around in here, and we are starting to get the bounce on the monthly time frame, looking for the monthly retracement possible. Remember, monthly retracement, so we could see further continuation with the retracements, but that might not last forever, so keep that in mind. If we look at this market, if we could have gotten the break below where the market was last time we spoke about it, we could have seen further continuation to the downside, because we are in some deep territory that have almost never been seen on most markets. But since then, we started to push above, breaking above several levels of structure. If we look at the daily time frame, on the daily, you can see we are starting to break above some of these areas, and if we do get the close above, that could signify further continuation where there will be some sort of retracement in order. Who knows where it will come, but there are high probabilities that it may come back to previous structure resistance, now turn support. USD CHF monthly time frame, pushing to the upside. Now this is my baby. It's already completed the pattern, the most common pattern, where you want to see the continuation to the upside, breaking the highs, creating a higher high, but it is showcased here on the monthly. Spoke about it for a while, and now this may be the last time we speak about this specific pattern on this market. So on the monthly time frame, so a very long time, this pattern has played out. If we look at it now, it's broken above some structure, came back to retest previous structure resistance, now turned support. We exploded to the upside, creating a higher high, breaking the highs, and completing the pattern. So that is very nice to showcase. On the weekly time frame of this pattern though, of this market, we are coming back to previous structure resistance, now turned support, where here we want to see a move to the upside where we could see further continuation for higher highs to be created. But if we look at the daily time frame, and here in the near future, we are so bearish, breaking below some of these structures. We would need to see some structure created and then broken before we could look for possible moves to the upside. So keep that in mind, that until we start to see that, this pattern is playing out. As a possible left shoulder, head, and could be right shoulder, where we could see further continuation to the downside as well. But it's just a matter of time till we see these markets play out. USD JPY monthly time frame pushing to the upside very aggressively. On the weekly, we are starting the retracement. A retracement is in order if this market wants to continue to the upside. So on the weekly, we are pushing to the downside very aggressively, where we could see further continuation as well. On the daily, we've just came into the level of structure, and we are starting to break below it. If we get further continuation and a retracement, we could see further moves to the downside, where we could take advantage of those with some swing trades and day trades as well. Next up, we have BTC USD. If we look at the monthly time frame, on the monthly, spoken about it, previous structure resistance, now turn support right in this area, and we are starting to get the push above. On the weekly, we came into this area, found some support several times, right in here, right in here, right in here. And from there, we are starting to get the push above. We had a level in here that has been used as previous structure resistance, now turn support, and we're getting the move to the upside. If we look at the daily time frame, on the daily, we can see we are starting to get the impulse to the upside, where from there, if we get the retracement back down into some of these levels, we could see further moves to the upside if the market wants to go ahead and give us that. But not until 2024, not until 2024 will there be the next halving event. So that will be when I expect the market to come and retest some of these highs and maybe make a new high. But from until then, there could be possible short-term trades during this cold winter. Let's see if we got some chats. Anybody want me to cover some charts? We Gucci, we straight. All right. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. in between 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be here doing a little breakdown, giving you some insight on where the market may go. You can hop in the chat, ask some questions. I'll be sure to answer them. Really much about anything. So, yeah. I'll be back on Friday. Tune in. Make sure you like this video. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed with the post notifications turned on. That way you do get notified anytime I do go live or post any educational content. And I got some stocked up. About to hit y'all with some fire. But yeah, until then, hope you're having a profitable day on and off the charts. And until next time.